G'day folks, Ando from Boss Outdoor with a handy little tip with nipper pumps. So for those that don't know what this is, it's a tool for abstracting pink nippers, one-arm bandits, bass yabbies, whatever you may call them. But it's basically a small saltwater yabby that we use for bait, for whiting, brim, flathead and so on. This is the apparatus that we push into the sand, suck back, spit the sediment out and hopefully find a few wriggly things in there which will be your pink nippers. One problem that can go wrong with these is the actual neoprene washer. If it's loose or perished, you won't get any suction. So as you go to suck out, you won't be holding any sediment and it's pretty much rendered useless. You don't need to throw it out. You don't need to buy a new one. You can replace the washers. We have replacement kits. Depending on what brand you have, this one here is a Wilson, so they come with washers and nuts, because that is a typical problem. You will lose the nut from time to time, or you can have just the washer. I'm going to show you how to reassemble all this now. So you'll note in there's a threaded rod, which this wing nut will attach to. Now, one common problem is if that wing nut's not tight, that will fall off and you sometimes lose your washers. So you've got to keep an eye on that too, but basically, we'll get our washer kit. Can be a bit tricky. First brass washer on, and along that rod there'll be a section where that will stop. It won't go any further. Slide on our neoprene washer. Tip to doing this right is hold the other end and you can wiggle the shaft around to get that threaded rod through the hole of the washer. Now the final washer goes on. So you have two brass washers, a neoprene washer, and then our wing nut. So when we put this on, we want to tighten it right up first to make sure that all those washers come together compressed. So you can either hold the nut with your fingers and twist the handle, which will do exactly the same thing. So I can see in there now that neoprene washer is quite compressed. Those two brass washers have compressed it and it's bulging around the sides. That's going to give an amazing amount of suction. But what we want is just to back that nut off the slightest bit, and there's no rhyme or reason, there's no correct method, it's just by feel. See, it's not making a noise now, but I can still feel there's suction there. So that nipper pump has been resurrected, it will now work. Just check after every time you use it that nut's done up to the appropriate sort of, I guess, tension so that it doesn't fall off. And some good care for your nipper pump, get the sand out of it. Just put it on the salt water like this, get all the sand out of it, then when you get home, wash it out with fresh water. There's no need to grease it. If grease only holds sand on it, so I never grease mine. I just leave it raw and give it a hose out with fresh water. I've had my nipper pump for 20 years, so just keep replacing the washers, guys, and you'll be good to go. If you want any more tips about nipper pumps, come into Boss Outdoor so we can hook you up.